Hi everyone, it's me again. I'm back with another a video. Here to talk about stuff, here to reflect. Today I'm going to talk about how rejection feels to me. So, rejection really hurts, I think. Rejection for me feels like I'm like othered, distanced from other people. And I guess this is really in my mind because for me, I think when my expectations aren't met with something, I feel that's like a rejection. And I've been thinking about this a lot in terms of a lot of like the therapists I've had previously, because I've had therapy. And I guess I've been thinking about like why certain things feel like rejection to me, why certain things don't feel like rejection to me. So I guess something I was really noticing is like my relationship with a lot of the female therapists I've had. And all of them have been female therapists until the recent therapist I've had for the past couple of years now. But for me, I think this is a lot to do with my challenging relationship with my mother. But I think I'm very rejection sensitive in those relationships. And I guess something I've been reflecting on recently is that I felt historically that like I felt maybe a degree of being patronized in a way. And I think that comes from me maybe sharing heavier things. And then I think how I understood it was like the therapist I had kind of went into like a mothering kind of mode. That's certainly kind of how it felt to me, that they were like, they're there, it's okay, you'll be okay. And I don't think there's like anything wrong with that from their point of view, but I guess what that triggers in me is like, hey, you're vulnerable and I want to take care of you. And that kind of makes me feel kind of like a kid, like a little kid that's being head patted because they're struggling. And I guess I have a lot of resistance around feeling like I'm, I guess maybe having a feeling of patronizing coming up when I'm like being vulnerable, I guess. I don't want to be seen as weak, I guess, when I'm being vulnerable. And I guess I feel like their kind of mothering energy that maybe comes out of female therapists I've had previously leads me to feel like I'm kind of a pathetic, weak child, which is interesting. I think this maybe also leads into why I actually struggle to be maybe more authentic with people sometimes, because I think my experience of rejection is that like when I'm authentic with people and I'm like, this is how I'm feeling, I'm struggling a bit, I guess a lot of the conventional kind of empathy or sympathy maybe just falls a little flat for me sometimes. And I've met very few kind of female therapists that I've had as therapists that I guess give me the kind of like engagement that doesn't feel like rejection to me, which is why like I purposely sought out a male therapist, and that's the one I'm working with now. And it's interesting that it feels different in that way. But yeah, maybe there's just still this idea in my head of like, I need to be strong because I'm someone who supports people. Though I'm happy to talk about being vulnerable. Happy to be seen struggling. But I guess ultimately I just want to be treated on like an equal level. And I guess with my male therapist, I really feel like there's more of like an equal footing there of kind of like, hey, I'm here to support you and I care about you, but I don't feel like you're lesser than me or weaker than me. Like we're kind of on an even level. And maybe it's because of my challenges again with my mother about maybe feeling like she would always go for authority and be kind of the top dog of who gets their needs met in those situations. And for me, that was really hard to maybe accept that. And I guess, yeah, that's a lot of what comes up for me when I think about, like, how does rejection feel? But I guess how it feels in my body is it makes me... I feel a sinking feeling in my chest. I feel like I kind of want to get away. I kind of want to hide. I want to withdraw. I don't want to put myself out there. I think I'm quite sensitive to rejection. But the more I become aware of that feeling of rejection and lean into it, I think the more that's really helped me kind of do things I never thought I would do. Like these videos. These videos, like, I definitely have a concern of rejection around these sometimes. And I think challenging that rejection and leaning into that will help me be stronger when kind of riding those waves of rejection, because I guess I feel I have a very strong kind of emotional baseline. And when I'm feeling a lot and I feel rejected, it's really hard for me. There was some rejection I felt yesterday that was really challenging on the day of recording this, and that's why there's questions in my head, because I think it's really important to think about, to navigate when you are thinking about trying to grow, thinking about trying to make a change. I feel like rejection is, like, for me anyway, and you might be different to me, that's completely fine, but rejection is such an important part of, like, the landmines I feel I need to be aware of when I try and push outside of my boundaries, right? If I can anticipate or at least accept that there are some rejections maybe on the horizon, then I take it way better. Yeah, and I feel that, like, taking rejection and, like, leaning into rejection for me is like a really important growing edge, I would say. Because I think rejection has made me kind of go inwards, made me struggle to be authentic, made me struggle to interact with the world. I think it was a huge part of what led to a lot of my depression, my existential depression even, which I might talk about more in another video, but yeah, rejection is a heavy topic for me, I feel. Even now as I talk about it, I feel a bit uncomfortable, which is, like, probably me trying to get away from rejection. But I think it's really important to talk about. I think it's really important to reflect on. And I think something that I'd like to try going forward is continuing to lean into that rejection. I think some of the rejections I'm kind of looking at, like, working on, is handling rejections that come with being authentic with myself. Because I think the rejection that I shared yesterday hurt a lot more, because I think I put more authenticity on the table about some of the struggles I went through, and then a lot of the judgments in my head were like, hey, like, I've been really authentic, I really put me down here, and, like, things didn't go the way I hoped they would, and that was kind of really devastating for me, I guess, because it makes me not want to share, but I have to. Not that I have to, but I want to, and I have to for self-care, and I think that's really important to do, because I don't feel I see that too much these days, and I feel like when I see people be authentic and vulnerable, I see a lot of strength in people, and I really, really respect and appreciate it. So I'm going to try and lean into that too. I'm going to really try and lean into that. But yeah, those are my thoughts on how rejection feels to me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for liking, subscribing, ringing the bell, all of that stuff, if you do any of that. If you don't, that's okay. I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to make videos. I'm still going to be me. But best of luck. Appreciate you all. See you soon.